Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? This here's the real deal coming back with you with some good stuff and the truth as always. Talking about history, talking about the government, laying some heavy duty truth on you, always. And that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get all this stuff like people post on Facebook or on Twitter, and then if you actually were to go research it after you look at they got 100,000 likes and all the comments, and I'm like, people, this isn't true. It's not that hard, man. But let me talk to you today. I'm going to talk because all I ever hear about is the Epstein list. I see this in every single comment. I swear, Trump must be living in some people's minds, man. They are so obsessed with the man. Anything that goes on in this world and it has nothing to do with him, they bring up him in the Epstein list. I've talked about that list before. Honestly, I've been honest with y'all about it. I have a copy of all the people in the list, on the list, and it is not redacted. I'll go through it with you someday. I've talked about it before. But what bothers me about this, and I believe in free speech, so here comes my free speech. People call Trump a pedophile. People are concerned and upset about what went on Epstein Island. Let me ask you people, what goes on with certain groups around the world? What goes on with these same groups in the United States of America? And you're going to be, I've heard this all before, there's going to be people out there defending this and making excuses and saying, that's their culture, that's their religion, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's disgusting. Did you know that almost every country has a marriage law on a minimum age? There are 6 countries in this world where there are no minimum age. No age. Now, and they'll tell you, like, if you go Google this, it'll say, oh, but there is an understanding that, no, there is no understanding. No, there is no minimum age for marriage. And let me tell you something. If there's no minimum age and you can get married at 10 years old, who the hell is getting married at 10 years old? A 10-year-old boy? That's the last thing on their mind. No, we're going to get there in a minute. These are the 6 countries: Guinea, Gambia, Saudi Arabia, go figure, Somalia, South Sudan, and Yemen. Now, there is no minimum age for marriage in there. None whatsoever. And let me just say, what do those countries all have in common? Think about that for a minute. A lot of the countries I just mentioned are poor. Poor Islamic countries. I just saw the other day a 67-year-old man bought a 10-year-old girl, and I'm like, that's disgusting. And people were defending it because it's their culture. Okay. And they're like, well, how do you know he's going to do that? Oh, okay. Well, let's just say he buys her to work her in a factory. That's slavery. That's not acceptable. But do you really think that he's like, hey, you work for me now, because the parents are poor. Parents are poor, so they sit at mom and dad. He could have had mom work for him. Could have bought mom. Could have bought dad. That's disgusting, and it makes me sick. I can't even imagine what goes on in somebody's mind. Yuck. I can't even imagine it. How the heck can you look at a little girl and be a grown man? I don't care if you're 20. You don't look at a little girl and go, she's hot. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. They ought to rip your brains out and throw you down the well. Eesh. And there's a lot of poor countries around the world, and there's a lot of people that defend it. But at the same time, they'll sit there and go, Trump's a pedophile. This guy's a pedophile. Epstein was a pedophile. Okay, Epstein was a pedophile. Right. Well, why aren't you worried about these other people that are pedophile? Well, they're not in America. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Do you remember in the state of Michigan, in Dearborn, Michigan, where there was genitalia mutilation going on amongst the girls? Oh, that was just a couple years ago. And what happened? It was legal. It's okay because that's their faith. That's their religion. So it's okay to do that. Really? You think it's safe to mutilate a little girl's vagina? No, it's not. What culture comes up with that? That is disgusting. Well, Jews get circumcised. Big difference cutting a little off to make something look bigger and be a little more clean than sewing something up and cutting it up so nobody else will want it or want to use it. That's disgusting. No comparison. And there's something wrong with y'all for even thinking that way. I can't even imagine a child bride, but let me just say, child brides, and it happens, they give birth at a young age. I'll get here in a minute, but child brides, they have a greater risk of complications during childbirth because they're not really fully developed yet. They get STDs easy. Sorry about that. They have limited opportunities. They're not gonna be getting education or anything, and they usually give stillborn, and the child might be born with complications like Down syndrome stuff, and they'll kill it. They kill it in a lot of these countries because it's not right. Kind of like Hitler did, you didn't fit into the Aryan nation. It wasn't right, so let's kill it, And it's horrible because these young girls are facing more domestic violence than anybody. It's horrible. I can't even imagine anybody wanting to do this, man. And that's what bothers me when everybody talks about the Epstein list. This isn't just around the world that goes on. It's going on in America. And there's a certain country that America doesn't control, but kind of has. And, it's not ours, but they listen to us, and we help them out. And we'll get to that in a minute about their legal age for getting married, which really makes me sick. But the 5 countries that have the worst marriage rates for childs is Ethiopia. Ethiopia is number 5. About 2 million people a year are child marriages there. And their legal age is 18 for boys. It's not that for girls. So, and here's the thing too. Only 12% of the girls over there that get married go to school. Only 60% of unwed girls go to school. Why? Because they don't look down, or they don't look upon females as equal. And that's how a lot of these cultures are, a lot of these countries are, and I will call the culture out on it. It is Islam. Am I an Islamophobia? Or phobiast, whatever you want to call me? No, I'm just telling the truth. If it was Christians doing this, I'd call them out for it too, because it's disgusting. And the number 4 country, believe it or not, is Brazil. They have almost 3 million child marriages a year. 36% of the girls at the age of 18 are married. And you have to have a little bit of parental consent, so they say. That's not true. Now, the legal age for boys to get married is 18. 16 if you got consent. Now, you got Nigeria, another thing. They have 3.3 million people getting married a year that are underage. It's just, why? Bangladesh is almost 4 million. And India is number 1. You have 26 million that they know of. Over 26 million people get married a year at underage over there. You can get married as a girl. It's 15 over there. The rate of girls between 15 and 18 getting married has greatly increased. I'm sorry, but I can't agree with this stuff. I can't agree with that. Now, maybe back in the day when, that's all there was in this world and you were 15 and you needed to marry some guy who was 18 to go out there and, survive and stuff, and that happens in America. I know that happens for a fact. I know 15-year-old girls that hooked up with a 22-year-old guy and got pregnant. It happens. But these marriages are usually arranged and they're being sold. They're being sold into these marriages, and it ain't right, people. Now, here's a few other countries. Iraq, 9-year-old. A 9-year-old girl can get married. Iran, the standard age is 13, they'll tell you. But legally, a girl can get married at 8 years and 9 months. And also in these countries, it's legal to sell your kids, whether it's going to be into slavery or what have you, Yemen doesn't have a strict minimum age. There's nothing out there. There's really no age. They want you to wait till 18, but, They don't care. And most of the girls there get married before they're 18. Afghanistan's another one. 9-year-old girls. Now let me ask you women listening. When you were 9 years old, were you infatuated with boys? Or were you wanting to play with dolls? And, you know, and younger girls now, I mean, I know you probably didn't play with dolls as much as stuff, but you wanted to play computer games. You wanted to play outside. You wanted to have fun or play with your kitty or your puppy. You weren't sitting there going, I want to be with a dude. But there's dudes out there that look at kids and say, I want to be with her. I'm going to throw up, man. So, Afghanistan, you can marry 9-year-old girls. Many are sold into marriage, you know, because they have a lot of poverty there. So they're selling their daughters off. I would never do that. I don't care how broke I am. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to struggle, and I'm going to protect my kid. They don't have the same rights as women do and girls do in these countries, and we all know that. We all know that truth. And again, people will say that's their culture. That's okay. It's not our business. Yes, it is our business because it's pedophilia. All right? So you're going to go after Epstein? He had nothing to do with you, did he? It's disgusting. Why are you going to go after him and not go after anybody else? Why? Because he was in America? This happens every day a lot in America. Trust me. And then you got other nations out there like Bangladesh. And then you got Nigeria. And 9-year-old kids. 9-year-old girls are allowed to get married. A lot of countries allow child marriage. And I will say it again. Most of them are Muslim Islamic nations. And the biggest population surge in the United States is what right now? Islamic people, Muslims. Like I said earlier, you had the female genitalia, and that was okay because it's their culture. Where do you draw the line on that, though? When do you start drawing the line on that? And here's the thing. How dare you speak out against them, mister? How dare you, Mr. Real Deal? That's Islamophobia. Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you guys something. How is it every day whenever I see something posted, say, about Israel or Jews, that people say, Jews eat babies? They don't. First of all, Jewish law would forbid it because you don't eat blood. That's why in Jewish law the meat is cooked. Well done. You're not allowed to eat blood. Well, they do this. They bite off penises. They don't. That's disgusting. Well, I saw it on the internet. Of course you did. Because, you know, people are just as stupid as you. Those blood libels are thousands of years old. Now, why is it when somebody goes after a Muslim for doing something wrong, that person is bad? But then you go after a Jew who didn't do anything wrong, and the person sticking up for them is the bad guy. When did this world get upside down? I hear things about the Jews all the time. I see it on a daily basis. I see people attacking Christians all the time. You know, going after certain religious groups, you know, and it's like, I always hear stuff about the Latter-day Saints, how it's a cult. Let's say it is a cult. It's not. But let's say it is, because it's a newer religion. Are those people hurting anybody? Are they happy? Do they go after anybody? Do they try to get you and force you to convert? They might talk to you about it, but are they bad people? Are they killing people? Are they blowing up towers? No. So if you even think it's a cult, like I said, it's not. It's their religion, and they have the right to believe what they want. I respect that. I respect all religions. I respect all non-religions. You want to believe in a flying spaghetti monster? That's your trip, dude. I'm down with that. You believe what you want. This is America. This is free world, man. The world should be free, not just the United States. But if the Latter-day Saints want to believe in something and you don't agree with it and don't like it, leave them alone. They're not hurting anybody, are they? No. So leave them alone. Let them. Are they happy? Cool. Maybe that was religion is what makes them good people and makes them happy. So if they're not hurting anybody, leave them alone. Like you go after the Jews all the time. Jews ever hurt you? No. Most of the products you use on a daily basis were created by Jews. Most of y'all don't know that. But most of y'all listening to me don't act the way of the people I'm talking about. Most of the people that listen to me have common sense and courtesy And they do have a little peace and love in their hearts for one another. I hope so. Because that's what it's all about in this world. But we must expose ugly things. And what I'm talking about today is an ugly thing, people. And it's going to be happening more in America. I see it all the time. I hear about it. And I hear about the abuse of the women. And it's like, sit down, shut up, smack. That's okay. You can do that. Saw a girl at her wedding. She was messing around and the guy smacked her. And everybody was like, that's okay. Just saw a big rally the other day with that what's that girl that can't spell her name and she's dumb as a brick, was a bartender, probably a stripper, and got her only job for being on her hands and knees. Oh yes, AOC. She can't even spell that name. She's so dang dumb. I flush things smarter than her. Anyway, she was at a rally wearing a keffiyeh, sticking up for the Muslims, and it was all men. None were respecting her. They were talking over to her. They didn't care because the women aren't allowed there. They don't have a lot of respect for the women. Is that their culture? Yes. Should I respect that? I have to. Even I disagree with it, I can respect it. Just like I have a friend that's a Satanist. Totally disagree with her. I respect her right to believe what she wants. But does she hurt people in the meantime? She sacrifices animals. I don't like that. But she's not beating women. Are these guys beating women? If they are, that shouldn't be allowed. That's disgusting. That's horrible. You treat women like you want to be treated. You treat everybody in this world the way you want to be treated. Now, getting back to the America place. You know, the USA. There are certain states in the United States that don't really have a lot of high marriage laws. There are 4 states that historically have allowed lots of minors to get married. And I'm not talking about people working in a coal mine. But they have to have judicial or parental consent, is what they say. There's basically no law. Hawaii and Kansas, you can get married at the age of 15. And you got to have a parental sign-off, though. You know, I understand back in the day, think people were poor and stuff, and girls would probably want to go marry a rich guy. I understand that. And it might be that way now. The economy could be rough. You never know. Parental consent, But you know what, man? That's still too young. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of people that it happens to. But, you know, there are a lot of states that have fully banned child marriage, no matter what. Even if the girl gets pregnant, she has to wait till she's 18 to get married. And states, some of those states, I'll tell you, Michigan's one of them, Illinois, New York State, and about 2/3 of the country makes it that way, which is pretty good because it does happen. I know, like I mentioned earlier, that girl that was 22, or her boyfriend was 22, she was 15. He got her pregnant. He went to prison. This was a long time ago, but it was in the state of Michigan. He went to prison. He got sentenced to a long time, too, because basically that was rape because she's underage, even though she consented. Her parents pushed the issue on that. And that was disgusting that he did that. I don't understand it. Like I said, man, I just don't understand how people can do that. Look at a kid like that. But there's a big surge of this going on in the country, and there's a big surge of women being treated like crap. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Like I said, you treat everybody the way you want to be treated. You want people to hold the door for you, hold the door for them. You want people to love on you, love on them. And I don't mean sex love, I mean love. Hey, peace and love, my friend. You be kind to them because you want them to be kind to you. You don't take and take and take and never give back. You don't do that. You give. You give if you can. And yes, it's okay to take, but you got to give. If not to them, give to somebody else. That's what this world's all about, is getting along and doing good. And when I see sick things like little girls getting sold into nastiness like this, it frustrates me, man. And I can see more and more of that coming to America. And I don't like it. I still remember those Twin Towers when they hit. I still remember who did that. Everybody tries to say, that was our government. George Bush did it. George Bush had no clue. If our government was involved, he still had no clue. But we know who was behind it. And I don't want to see that happen to our country. I don't want to see bad things that happen to the country and things get pushed on others. I see it all the time. They're trying to brainwash, trying to train people. They go into the schools and they like have little festivals. It's okay to talk about your culture. But again, I don't see them doing that for the Christians. You can't pray in the schools. You know? They can't make you pray. And then if you do try to pray, they come down on it, man. Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line, people? Remember, look out for the kids of this country. Look out for one another. We build up, we don't break down. We protect, we don't hurt. That's what we do. That's what good people do, all right? Peace and love. Keep the faith. Stay strong.